Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome to Cardweaver Witch, Grimoire of the Ever Unfolding, where we sort of unpack tarot cards, different layers of the tarot. Today, we will be talking about Temperance, the Temperance card in the Major Arcana, specifically in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I hope everyone, happy Monday. We're recording this on June 24th, 2024. It's 9:19 a.m. here in Northern California. I hope everyone is doing well. I wish you well. I am still trying to wake up, so bear with me. The coffee has been poured. Trying to play catch up and all that stuff. All the stuff. So let me make sure I did post this. I shared it and did all the things right. I believe I sure did. Okay. There's a lot of cool things to unpack with Temperance. I also like to in my tarot program, I like to break down the symbolism. So like whatever you see in the cards, like break it down by symbol, and start interpreting that, so the crown, like just example, like the crown and the divine, the temper, the individual, the character, the figure in this card, so their crown and divine being. And you can look at the crown too, where at the center of the head, it looks like the glyph for the sun. So I always like pay attention to that too. The crown worn by the figure in the Temperance card can symbolize divine authority and enlightenment. And when I say enlightenment, it could be all kinds of things, like just having more knowledge, more wisdom, more experience, just knowing more about the situation than we do, right? So we can take it in various different ways, suggesting a connection to higher wisdom and spiritual insight. The depiction as a divine being is often angelic or whatever, has wings. Drank some Red Bull, underscores the theme of guidance and meditation or mediation between the earthly and the divine. So with Temperance, I do find this sort of harmony. It's about harmony. So there are always, like, it's ebb and flow of life. There are opposites, and with Temperance, I find that we're trying to figure out how to balance things in our lives, or how to bring harmony with different situations, different beliefs or programming within our life, and to make sense of things, right? So there's just, there's so many different things. And like I said, the sun circlet, sun can represent vitality, information, enlightenment, divine spark, divine creation. So circlet suggests a continuous, unending realization of one's inner light and truth. And so the fact that there's this divine being almost, or just, more enhanced, I guess I could say, being with the circlet, we can couple that and recognize, like, oh, this is about having more information. This is about, seeing things from a different perspective, maybe assessing all sides to a story, and just stuff like that. And so the first talking point of Temperance is, Temperance teaches us the crucial lesson of balancing our spiritual and material pursuits. It holds the secret to blending these aspects seamlessly, promoting a life of balanced actions and emotions. This card encourages us to integrate our inner and outer worlds, finding peace in the equilibrium. So, again, harmonizing dualities. That's a big thing here with Temperance. And I think that when this card pops up again, we have to recognize like it's a major arcana card, so we know that it's going to deal with like big life events or even just like things that are big to us, like big life, big experiences, larger perceptions of things, stuff like that. And so when we're sort of like working with this card, it would really do us well to contemplate like what am I struggling with? What am I struggling with in my life experience right now? What am I having a hard time with? What am I trying to what am I trying to understand here? And how can I blend? Like, am I working too much? Am I living for work? And am I neglecting my home? Am I neglecting my personal space? Am I, living for home and like really focus on my home space, my personal space, and my relationships and all that, but I'm really like neglecting work. Does that make sense? And so when this card comes up, it's a recognition that there might be something out of sync or out of alignment, and we really need to learn to harmonize the dualities of life. And so, it's a question of where am I out of balance or out of alignment, out of sync, out of tune, um, in life. And what am I overemphasizing and what am I underplaying? And how can I kind of bring harmony back into to both? Because we need to work to make the money to pay the bills. Well, good morning, Diane. Welcome. We need to work to make that money to pay the bills to get the food and do the things. But we also need to be able to enjoy our life and to spend time in relationships and communicate and unplug from doing the work all the time. And so it's a reminder that we need to dial it back somewhere so we can have a healthy understanding that um, it's not going anywhere. Work is going to be work, life is going to be life. So we can take a break when necessary. Some of the practical applications here for harmonizing dualities, and I try to keep these very similar so we can comprehend that we can do very similar things, just applying it differently to each card. So daily reflections, we can begin and end our day with a short meditation, focusing on what we need more of and what we need less of. This could be related to work life, balance, emotional expression versus introspection, or spending versus saving. So, I mean, it could be work life balance. Sorry. I told you I'm just waking up or trying to wake up. But so daily, well, hello, hello. So when this card pops up, we can reflect, daily reflection. Where am I too much, right? Where's the excess? Where's the undercurrent and the underlying thing that's not getting too much action, right? So what do I need more of and what do I need less of? It's kind of like when you're cooking, you have to make sure to add the right balance. Like with when I'm cooking rice, you have to make sure to add enough salt to make it taste good, right? But you don't want to add too much salt because then that just ruins everything. And so it's like that balance. Because if you don't add salt at all, then it kind of just, meh, it's a bland flavoring. So you need to add enough to make it taste really decent, really delicious. Um, but also it's like, okay, dial it back. You don't need a pound of salt for this because that's just it's a salt lick and it's not good. uh the balance between responsibilities and absolute enjoyment of passions, desires, and dreaming. Yeah, hello, good day. Yes. I like your piercing. And so daily reflections. That's one aspect to tackle, right? Balanced lifestyle choices. So make conscious choices about diet, exercise, and relaxation. For example, if you have a sedentary job, integrate more physical activity into your routine. If your life is hectic, carve out time for stillness and solitude. Do you see kind of how the temperance sort of applies here, and how by doing these things we can kind of bring that sort of synergy, that harmony into our space. So when we consider our life as a whole, if we're really, really, really extremely active on the go and hustle, 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 just boom, 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 zoom, 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 um, you know, maybe we need something like yoga. Oh my gosh, I yoga or meditation, something of that nature, right? To help us calm that intensity. But if we're like not moving at all, like not at all, we're just kind of like sitting and just like, yeah, kind of like a little Eeyore, little lethargic, or just like slow. We're just like, the work that we do doesn't require us to move around too much, right? So then we might need to get up and go experience things, like life, like running around or just walking out in nature or just bringing movement into our space. And so having that balance, I love it. Yay, that's fun. And you definitely need something that's going to be very relaxing because you're like, you know, ah. You know, but seek feedback. Another aspect to this is to seek feedback. And this, again, we talk about seeking feedback a lot, but it's so important. And regularly, why can't I say that word? I don't know. Um, ask close friends or family about how they perceive our balance between work and personal life, or emotional self-control versus expressiveness, and use the feedback to make adjustments, right? And if you're a part of like a circle or a coven, you can also ask your circle your circle peoples, your coven mates, right? And say, hey, what do you feel like I'm out of alignment somewhere, or what does my situation look like to you, right? um and then adjust, like, oh yeah, I can see how it looks like I am doing so much of this one thing, and you know what, now that I think about it, I am, so I do need to maybe dial it back a little and start applying something else to kind of bring that harmony back into my space. Does that make sense? And also, some questions we can ask ourselves for this aspect of the card. Journal prompts, maybe, if you want. Hey, some homework. Hello. What are two opposing forces within me or in my life that seem to be out of balance? So when this card comes up, if we're reading for a client, we can ask them that, because I do feel like when we're reading for people, when we have clients and we're reading, it is a facilitation of that ebb and flow communication, and it's not just me telling you, it's like it's a partnership. We're together working through this, so it's not just me boom boom boom. We need to work together for creating a great experience. And so we can be like, okay, so what do you feel are two opposing forces either within you right now or within your life that seem to be out of balance? And then you can go from there, right? Start writing or start talking about it. Another thing is, how can I introduce more harmony between my professional and personal life? Because I think that for a lot of us, that's a huge disconnect, right? A huge disconnect is the work situation, as well as personal life. Um, And also, like, if you're self-employed, that bridge is, so there's an illusion, there's like this very, very muddled line. You really can't see it, because if you're self-employed, your personal life and your work life are so intertwined that it's hard to disconnect and see one or the other. And sometimes we need to unpack both, so we can be like, no, these are separate, they do overlap, and that's fine, but we also need to know when to pull away from work and focus on our personal life, when to pull away from personal life and focus on our work, right? So another question to ask is, what are the consequences of leaning too much towards one aspect of a duality, like work over family or caution over spontaneity? That's a cool one, because sometimes it's like, oh, if we if we're like just really, really cautious, we don't allow for that spontaneous energy to come through, it's kind of boring, it's dull. We need that sort of spark of fun to ignite us and to help us, experience certain things. So that's another question there. um, our next aspect is the path to higher wisdom with temperance, reflecting the adventures, or sugar, reflecting the adventurous spirit of Sagittarius, because temperance is associated with Sagittarius. Temperance invites us on a journey towards higher understanding, Jupiter ruled. So there's like higher learning, wisdom, all that sort of energy. So it's not merely about avoiding extremes, and I believe it's fire. Associated with fire, and so it's you know, temperance invites us on a journey towards higher understanding. It's not merely about avoiding extremes, but actively seeking a middle path that enhances our wisdom and enriches our experiences. This pursuit is about understanding the deep connections between our actions and the broader impacts on our spiritual growth. What does that say to you? How does that make you feel? The sort of the path to higher wisdom. I feel like with this, um, temperance reminds us that life, I really just feel it's like life lessons right now. Temperance is reminding us life is about experience, life is about learning. And it doesn't mean you have to go to school. What it does mean is like, okay, what is your sort of like, what is your heart craving? What is your soul craving right now? How can you feed it? How can you feed your soul, but also be rooted and grounded in the mundane world? Because let's be honest, we're kind of human, having a human experience, so we need to still function in the human world. And so that does mean responsibilities. That does mean like you know, paying the bills and doing all the things, making the money, doing all the things, all the stuff. But it's also like we don't need to do all the mundane things and deplete ourselves to a point where we can't explore our spirit, explore our desires, explore what excites us. Am I making sense? And so I feel this aspect of temperance is that reminder to bring that joy back to your life. It does not matter like your age, your circumstance, whatever's going on. You still deserve to experience a life that fulfills you. You still deserve to laugh and to have fun and to enjoy. And so what does that look like for you? Temperance is asking us to be mindful of this. Like, do the work. Like, we can work, we can do the things that we need to, but also let's not build this harsh exterior where we're just like crotchety and like rude and disgruntled. We can laugh, we can be silly, we can have fun, we fumble our words. Like, that's me all the time. Like, I don't even know, like, I'm fumbling my words and stuttering, but I'm like laughing at myself because it's like, what, you know? It's just real. That's just how I communicate. That happens to me all the time. Like, I'm not going to be ashamed or embarrassed of it. This is just legit, right? I'm not going to edit my fumbles out, because that's just also a lot of work that I don't want to do. But like, what's the point? We're human. Does that make sense? And so, like, with this aspect of temperance, it's recognizing the desire for something, for learning or understanding things from a different perspective, for that craving for something more. And it doesn't have to be at the expense of what you're currently doing. It's finding the balance to be able to do this and that, and to have that harmony there. um I feel like I see this. I feel like a lot of people who have children, I feel like as a society, especially like with women, with mothers, as a society, we're like, once you like squirt a damn kid out, like you have to do nothing. You have to look frumpy. You have to behave a certain way. You have to take care of that child. And if you don't take care of that child to society standards, they're judging you, which is ridiculous. Like everyone is different. Like who is anyone to judge another person's parenting skills, right? Nothing. Don't do it. Nobody. But I feel like in that sense, it's like and hopefully you can see me connect the dots here, but in that regard, it's like you have to be a certain person when you squirt out some children's. And that sounds so disgusting because that can totally be taken way differently. Anywho, but you know, you are told that you can't have a life. You are told you can't dress a certain way. You are told you have to behave a certain way. You have to talk a certain way. You have to engage in the world a certain way because you have children. You are told that you no longer have an identity, right? And so I feel like with temperance in this aspect, it's like, no, it's recognizing I can still be a parent, right? I can still have kids and I can still have fun. I can still be me. I can still do my things that I love and I enjoy. I don't have to forget who I am. And sure, I might have to balance it out. I might have to make some alterations. I might have to adjust and adapt, but I don't have to like completely eradicate my own individuality. And I think so many peoples forget that because we're told that that's just the way it should be, right? Does that make sense? um I forgot to upload the second part to the slide, so I'm letting it upload so we can go into the next part of it. But like some of the applications for this, okay? The path to higher wisdom, uh, educational pursuits, boom, like that. Allocate time each week to read, watch, or listen to something educational that isn't related to your work. This could be philosophy, science, or art to foster a well rounded perspective. And I think that that's so important for us. Like, find things that excite you. If you want to learn about something that's really not associated with your work at all, but you're kind of curious, feed that. Feed that. Whatever it is. Last night before bed, I was watching videos it's on YouTube. She's called the Honeystead. I just love her. I don't know what it is about her. I think it's her eyebrows. I love her eyebrows. I love her eyebrows and the way she communicates. She also has kind of some curly hair, and I love me some curly hair. I do. But no, the Honeystead, I was watching her like in her bee work. That sounds kind of creepy how I was watching her, but I was listening to what she was saying. I like the way she communicates, and I'm really excited about bees right now. I don't know why, but I was just like, you know what? I spent all day crocheting, all day writing, all day doing all these things. I really need to unpack, and I still want to kind of feed something that I crave and desire. And I love the Honeystead, and so I was watching her videos on beekeeping, and it was just very, very interesting. Very interesting. I also found like bees kind of freak me out, only because of like bad experiences with bees. But like watching her videos, I've found that it's making me more comfortable around like the idea of being around bees. Does that make sense? I don't know. But so like allocate time each week to read, watch, or listen to something educational. Do the things. Do something that's going to feed your spirit. To help temper the intensity of the everyday work, um, travel and exploration, plan trips or outings that expose you to different cultures, philosophies, or environments. Even local trips to museums or cultural centers can provide new insights and experiences. I think this is huge with this aspect of temperance, because temperance is like, look, um we live in a bubble. How small or large that bubble is really just depends, but it's still our own bubble filtered through our own stuff. There's so much more to this life and world than our own bubble, and so we need to be understanding that let's get education about other people's cultures around us, and let's learn, and be respectful of other people, so we can really communicate better and engage with life better. And that helps temper that. I think that is very exciting too, because we can travel and explore new things, within our own means, right? But also it helps us to enjoy the work we do. So like our daily job, it's like I'm working and I used to not like it, but I actually really do like it now, because I understand that when I work and make the money, I actually get to also, it's helping me to explore new things. It's helping me to educate myself more, and it's a fun play, right? And so this is one that I love so much, and we need to talk about it. So engage in debates and discussion, participate, which, to be honest, like never happens anymore. Participate in discussions that challenge your views and expose you to different perspectives. This could be in community groups, online forums, or social gatherings. Having conversations is so important. Like back, I'm old. I'm old because like I grew up when the internet started. Like boom, here we didn't have it, now we have it. So I grew up like with forums, message boards, um, you know, actual talking to people, communicating, discussing, debating, debating. And I feel like we're in this weird space in life right now where anytime someone disagrees with you, it's like people take it as a personal attack, and then they don't even have a discussion, they just walk away. It's like I write you off. Like you disagree with me, I'm writing you off. No contact, go away. And sure, to an extent, sometimes that's necessary, but a lot of times it really isn't. Like people, and when you want to discuss something, when you want to debate something, people think you're attacking them, and you're not. And they don't even go back. So there's this sort of lost sort of aspect of communication where I say something and you say something, and sometimes you might agree with something, but you also interject something that might be different, just to explore conversation, to explore different topics, so we can like work it out. And a lot of times we find something in the middle. Like even if we disagree with people, we can find as we communicate more about it, we can find like, oh, but we actually agree on this, and we agree on this, and it's getting to this other point that we don't agree on. That's fascinating. Okay. And I think it also allows us to see the complexities of human, right? Of people. It allows us to see that, yeah, they believe this and believe this, but they also believe this other thing. I'm not sure how they got there, but that's also everyone is different. Your personal story, upbringing, society, state, whatever, culture, all of it shapes and forms perception. Does that make sense? And so I think that with engage in debates and discussions, it's so important to be able to do that and have it be healthy, and to recognize like just because someone disagrees, just because we debate or we're discussing, it's not a personal attack. It doesn't have to be. And so we can explore this a little more. And that to me is like it shows an active temperance, it makes the temperance card more active, I guess, more real, because it's that ebb and flow, right? It's debate, discussion, and going back and forth, and kind of trying to find that harmony. And so like questions to ask when we're dealing with the higher path, the path to higher wisdom. What new idea or perspective have I encountered recently, and how has it shifted my view? Okay. So, what new idea or perspective have I encountered recently, and how has it shifted my view? What gem of insight or information have I gathered recently, or have I listened to, have heard recently, that has shifted my view? In what areas of my life am I seeking more depth and understanding? So when we talk about this aspect of the Temperance card, and what areas of my life am I seeking more depth and understanding? What do I want to explore deeper? What do I want to take to the next level for me? What are the barriers I face in achieving a broader understanding, and how can I overcome them? So, what are the barriers I face in achieving a broader understanding, and how can I overcome them? And so sometimes, like, I recognize, like, I'm really ignorant to certain things, and I don't want to be ignorant. And so I have to look to see, what are these barriers? What do I face when I'm trying to understand something, and how can I overcome them? Maybe I feel weird because I know that I'm very ignorant in something, but I also don't want to be. And so I kind of have to go through that weird, uncomfortable stage and go learn and ask questions that might seem stupid to some, or like, whatever. But I also want to put myself in that situation so I know better. Does that make sense? And let me get a little sip, y'all. Let me get a little sip. Mhm. Okay. And so the last key insight or talking point, at least for this today, and this conversation of the card of Temperance, is alchemy of the soul. So at its core, Temperance acts as an alchemist. I mean, just look at their feet. One, one foot in the water, one foot on land. Look at the cups, and one cup pointing to the other. Look at the sort of like the. Oh, there's a, what is the term for the little sparks around the halo around the dude, the Temperance, the person. Um, oh, sugar. There's a term for that. Um, but just look at the sun behind. Like there's a lot of like alchemy type of things, agents here. And so merging divergent elements to forge something greater than the sum of its parts. This process symbolizes our own transformation as we learn to temper our desires with practicality, leading to a more purposeful and sustainable existence. So what does that say to you? How does that make you feel? I feel I feel like with this, at this aspect of Temperance is like this alchemical force where it's really, really exciting, really cool, also really serious, because it's a metamorphosis, right? Where we are the caterpillar in life. We're the caterpillar in life, and we're gaining wisdom, and we're taking programs that we've had, right? Programs that were given to us by society as we were growing up, by our experiences growing up, by our parents or whoever raised us, by all of it growing up, caterpillar, whatever, all that stuff. And then as we get to a certain stage, we start to recognize, like, I want different from my life, right? I want different from my life. And so then I start to bring in different programming and experience the world in a different way. And I start to realize, like, I have choice here. And so my choice is to bring in different beliefs that will fulfill the life that I want. And I recognize now there is a sort of like internal struggle, internal battle for what is going to be dominant, right? What's going to be the dominant attracting force in me. And then we make a cocoon and we turn to soup, and we're like boiling out. So we're boiling out the beliefs and the programs that no longer serve us. And in that soupy stage, we're like, oh, okay, let's flow really well. Let's build us up. And then we become, I don't know how that works. It's all crazy and fun and exciting and cool. But then we become a butterfly. Hello. So cute. Uh and we emerge from the cocoon, and we're like flying into the wild, and we get eaten by a bird. Eaten. Ate. I don't know. Do birds eat butterflies? Oh my god. Don't do it. Save the butterflies. Anywho, don't do that part. Anyways, but you see what I'm saying? And so it's like That's temperance. It's like this exciting understanding where we are working with our own lives here and we're transforming our own lives. We do have to be mindful of our foundation. We do have to be mindful of our desires and recognize like we have a foundation that we're working with that has built us up until this point. And now we can recognize like what is our desire here. We don't have to have one or the other. It can be a merging and a blending of two. My story, my upbringing, my the experiences I've had have shaped me up until this point, and I will take from it what I need and use it to be stronger, but I will also let leave behind, right? Leave behind the things that no longer serve. I don't want to live in fear. I don't want to live in pain and hurt. I want to let those things go, and I want to focus on bringing something better and focusing on desires. I understand where here this practicality, right? This practicality, this foundation, this the everyday stuff needs to happen. And so I have one foot in the everyday world to handle my things, to do all the stuff. Then I have one foot in water, in emotional stuff and relationships and spirituality and fluidity of life. And I recognize I can blend the two. It's not one or the other, it's a little bit of all things to formulate this metamorphosis to create something that is better than what was before. Does that make sense? And I just ramble. Oh my God. Did you get eaten by a bird? Are you with me? But you can see, it's transformation. It's alchemy of the soul. It's understanding that we can bring well, hello, Natalie. Yeah, there's we can bring all of this into harmony. It's synergistic, right? We can take things that we've experienced and things that are from our past and things that are necessary to carry with us, but also we can let go of how they impact us. Does that make sense? And so it's kind of like this experience that I had. I'm not, I'm taking it with me in part because I learned something here. I'm taking the lesson with me. I'm taking the how it helped me to form more resilience or whatever. I'm taking that part with me. I am letting go the actual experience because I'm not associating the negative force with it anymore. I'm bringing with me the thing that I've gained, that gem, that insight, and I'm putting it into something differently. So, practical applications. Creative integration. Engage in activities that require a blend of, this is fun. So engage in activities that require a blend of skills or attributes like cooking. Can you cook? Do you know how to cook? Because I do. I love cooking. I do. I don't like washing dishes though. So which like cooking, which combines creativity, timing, and technical skills. So true. But try baking. That's even more technical. Like you have to get that stuff right. It is baking. Oh my god. I love baking too, but like, oh my gosh. Do you watch the you should watch the Great British Bake Off? Or Great British Baking Show. Um yeah, I love it. The Brits, they know how to cook so much. I'm like, what? I feel like a child. Like when I'm watching that show, I'm like, how the hell do they know how to bake all these things? Like, and they're just like doing it because they love it. And I'm like, I want to love it, but I want to learn how do y'all bake? I did not grow up and like my grandma's. First of all, can't really cook. Definitely cannot bake. Like either, not neither. No, they cannot bake. Like one can cook a little better than the other. And when I say cook a little better, I just mean very, very minimal. Like she's not a bad cook, but it's like the same shit over. When you pour, you pour. It's like rice and beans. But like they cannot bake. Period. And so I'm like, I watch the show and I'm like, oh, I want to make that. Oh my god, I wanna make that. How did y'all know how to do this? You're so fancy. I love it. I love it. Sorry, I totally just left what I was talking about. Okay, so engage in activities that require a blend of skills or attributes like cooking, or gardening, which blends knowledge of nature with physical activity and aesthetic sense. It does. So you see what I'm saying there? There is what? Whatever. Who are you? Oh my gosh, that's exciting. I love that. I love people who can cook and bake like that. I love it. I yeah. Yeah. Anyways, and now like I want to learn to do better, but I'm at, because I have the diabetes, um I don't want to do anything because like I can't eat anything pretty much. I just can't. So I'm like, meh, I don't know. That kind of like put a damper on my sort of desire and passion to cook because then I'm like I'm feeding everybody else and I'm like whatever. So you can see how you can creative integration into the stuff that you do that will sort of activate temperance in this aspect. Mindfulness practices, so incorporate mindfulness into daily routines to better understand and regulate your emotions and reactions. This could be through yoga, we talked about this earlier, yoga, meditation, or simple breathing exercises. um oh my god, did I just read okay, sorry y'all, sorry, we're winding down. um I'm like, what the hell is a type 2 Latino? Oh my gosh. Oh, stop it. Stop. Oh my god. A great book on mindfulness is In Praise of Slowness. So oh my gosh, I can't. And so yeah, like yoga. Yeah, right? That's yeah. Oh my god. Okay, stop. You're killing me. Um Incorporate mindfulness into daily routines. So again, yoga is really cool because you have to pay attention to what your body is saying to you. So you're kind of utilizing that ebb and flow of temperance, where you're paying attention to how much you can actually do, like bendy, like you're in a position and you're like realizing, like, I haven't done this in a long time or haven't done this at all. And you're fighting mentally with yourself, like, can I actually do this? Or can I not do it? You're doing it, but then you're like, can I go a little deeper, a little more bendy? You like that? That's my professional, like, accurate term, bendy. But you're figuring that out, but it's like your mind is like, I don't know about that. But then you realize as you start to get into it, you can do it. And so it's that blend of understanding what you're capable of and what you tell yourself you're capable of or not capable of, and you're trying to work that out. And so that really helps us to tackle the temperance of the card Temperance, because ooh, belly dancing too, yeah. And so you're kind of seeing what you can do and allowing yourself to explore it, and it helps you to be mindful. Volunteering and community service, so contribute to your community in ways that utilize your strengths and challenge to you. Oh my god, I can't talk, so sorry. So contribute to your community in ways that utilize your strengths and challenge you to grow. So, this helps you connect with others and see the impact of your actions in a broader context. So, this aspect of the card really, really cool because you're realizing, like, you have stuff to offer, and you're also getting out of your comfort zone, maybe. Um, and like farmers market kind of thing, right? Going out, connecting with people, helping out where you can, facilitating conversation, understanding that it's not like just work, it's work and play, and you can balance both. When this aspect of the card sort of like stands out for us, we can ask ourselves, like, how do I currently integrate different parts of my personality into my daily life? It doesn't have to be like where we keep everything separate, right? That's challenging. And I feel like when we keep everything separate, we're losing. Yeah, 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 yeah. I feel like when we keep everything separate, we're denying ourselves to really be authentic in who we are, right? So, how do I currently integrate different parts of my personality in my daily life? Um, what new elements can I introduce into my routine to create more balance? So maybe like I can bring in a little fun to my workplace. Obviously, you still have to be professional wherever you're working. You have to follow those rules, but you can also do things like, y'all, I am I am entertaining, I have to say. But no, like when I worked in professional retail, people loved me and I loved them. I loved working with the clients, the customers. I loved helping and being of service, but I added my flair. I think people liked me because first of all, I was knowledgeable, but I was also fun. So I was like laid back, I was chill, but I was also entertaining. And so I brought that to the work I did. And so they connected with me on a real level because we were real with each other. We were able to have conversation that was more like friendship almost, in a way. And so I love that. You don't have to do that, but that's how I applied like who I am, what I enjoy, and and into the work that I do. And it made it even more like it made me like the work even more because I was like, ooh, I can be more. I felt comfortable expressing who I was in that environment more than I did expressing it either at home or even out in the world, right? So it really helped me to find confidence. Does that make sense? And so try that, try to bring certain elements of the other aspects of your life into the work. You don't have to like merge them, but like if you want to express certain things, maybe learn how to facilitate that in your workforce. Like maybe be a little more authentic in certain conversations or certain tone. Maybe relax a little bit where you can, still work, so still be professional as best you can, but do your thing, whatever that is. Um, describe a recent situation. Like you can, write this down as a journal prompt. Describe a recent situation where I felt fully integrated and in balance. What factors contributed to this state? Kind of just talked about that, huh? Weird. So like describe a situation like where you felt like fully yourself integrated and in balance, and so what brought that about? Where were you? How did that feel? Why did that manifest the way it did for you? Be mindful of that. Those can be patterns that you look for to help you create that elsewhere, right? So with that being said, that's the three key insights for our day. And again, we're talking about Temperance is a major arcana card associated with Sagittarius. So we have this higher understanding, higher wisdom energy from the card. And it is about balance. And I will say this about balance: it's not about calming things. Balance isn't like equal parts. It's kind of like in relationships. When you're in a relationship with someone, it is never 50-50, because the person or persons, again, no judgment, whatever your situation looks like, that you're in a relationship with, it's never 50-50. So sometimes they're going through something and all they have is 30, right? So you bring 70%. You bring 70, but then maybe they're feeling better, they're able to do more, and so they're bringing 40 and you're bringing 60. Oh shit, I did math. But do you see what I'm saying? And so right, right, exactly. It's rarely ever like I don't I've it's never 50-50. It's just not. And so as long as we're flowing together, right? That's a beautiful relationship where you know what, I only have 20 today. And so I need you to bring the the 80, right? Oh my gosh, I need to stop doing this because I'm gonna make myself look like a fool because I'm gonna be like, oh, you need to be 20, I need 25. That don't make 100. Anyways, so it's a lot like that with temperance. So balance isn't about equal parts. It's about understanding and assessing your situation and finding what you need. So sometimes you need like the scale, the scales, you need to really bring it high on one side just to bring the other side down a little bit or up a little bit or whatever it is, however that goes. But like you see, it's not ever equal parts. You have to assess your situation and find out what is going to bring what you can do to balance out what you need balanced out. um yeah, so with that being said, y'all, I think that's all I'm going to say today. If you have any last minute thoughts, questions, concerns about temperance, feel free to comment. Let me know. I hope that you enjoy. I did this longer than I thought. Dang. But I thank you so much for being here with me. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Um, I hope that you can take something from these. Like I love tarot. I love tarot so much. I enjoy it. It's fun for me. I'm always learning something new about it. I'm always growing, so I love to share with everybody. But if you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, always feel free to express yourself. Always feel free to reach out to me. Let me know what's up. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Yes. Okay, bye.